was honestly refreshing just relaxing and talking to friends and not having to worry about getting torn apart or eaten by some beast. However, Riley got a call on his phone and he said it's important. Once he was done, he said that he needed to leave. I asked him why and he responded with, I have to meet with someone. I asked Riley who and he said that it was private. But I still had one question for Riley. Wait, Riley, what happened to your arm? Riley looked at me nervously and said, well, I was riding my bike and I fell off. Yeah, that's what happened. I fell off my bike and yeah. Before I could ask anything else, he rushed out the room as soon as he was done explaining his broken arm. So I was left alone with Holly. It wasn't terrible, but it was pretty awkward. So, have you ever eaten drummies? No. And after that question, there was a minute of long and uncomfortable silence. The comfortable silence was broken after Holly asked me a question. So, Greg, what have you been doing? She asked me a bunch of questions such as, why did you jump through Riley's window? And why were you even in the forest in the middle of the night anyways? I tried to think of an excuse, but it was so stupid that I just decided to tell Holly the truth. And she told me that it was incredibly stupid to find a serial killer and that I'm lucky to be alive. Well, to be honest, after that traumatic experience, I decided to stop trying to find the Plainview Ripper. Or is it the Beast? I'm still confused. In fact, I was only doing it to get rich and famous, but considering that I almost died like 5 times in 1 week, I don't think it's worth it anymore. I told Holly that I was done, though I did leave out the part about me doing it to be rich and famous. I told Holly that I had all the evidence I gathered in a backpack in my closet. I told her to go to my house and turn in all the evidence to the police. She said she will do that, but not before asking if she could borrow a piece of paper from my journal. Also, I did show her everything in my journal. FYI, I asked her why and she asked that she also needed to write down her thoughts. So I gave her a page. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Oh, no, Holly's not going to turn it into the police. Hi there, I'm Holly Hills. I got this page from my friend Greg Heffley. I got this because I need to write down my thoughts and I can't tell anyone or else. Greg has been trying to solve the Plainview Ripper for about a month now. And well, he ended up getting seriously injured and is in the hospital right now. He told me about what he's been doing and he said that he was done with the case. However, he did say that he had some evidence in the backpack in his house and he told me to go turn it into the police. I said I will do it, but I wasn't being honest. What I'm actually doing is destroying it. I don't want to do it, but I have no other choice. Yeah, I knew it. March. Saturday. So it's been a couple of months since I've ruined this. Guess there's some catching up to do ever since I got severely injured while trying to escape the beast. First, I am now homeschooled. My mom has been trying to get me homeschooled ever since this mess started. And due to me almost dying, she has decided to make me homeschooled. Next, it's an update on the whole situation in Plainview right now. Currently, the police have no leads, surprisingly. I thought that for sure my evidence would give the police enough for a line of suspects. They did have one suspect, and that was Robert Howard Lawrence. This is because of the RHL message Fregley wrote before he died. Bro, it's not him. They're framing the wrong guy. However, he got released because the murders were still going on. I made sure to tell if Holly did turn in the evidence, and she said she did. Also, if you're wondering, I decided to lie to the police and my mom that I was being chased by the serial killer and not the beast. But I'm guessing the main thing you're wondering about is the current situation with the beast. Well, as of writing this, 80% of the population of Plainview is missing or murdered, and 10% of the town has moved away. Bruh, that means 90% of them are just gone. So it has gone worse. Sunday, today I decided to go for a walk, and while I was on a walk, I encountered, out of all people, Leland, and we had an extremely weird interaction. Wait, Greg, you alive? Yeah. But Riley said you died last December. Why the heck did Riley say I died? Oh, that means Leland. Oh, I think Leland is going to take him out or something, or who knows. I tried asking Leland some more questions, but he just ignored me. Eventually, he just ran away. I was super confused. Like, why did Riley tell Leland I was dead? I went back home and called up Riley. I tried to call him, but for some reason, Riley didn't pick up, even though he usually picks up the second I call him. Eventually, after an hour of trying to call him, he finally picked up. However, before I could say anything, he got me off and said, Greg, you need to get out of Plainview immediately. Excuse me, what? Before Riley could respond, he hung up, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Monday. I don't even know how to write this. I'm still terrified, but I'll go start at the beginning. I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the kitchen to get a glass of water. However, when I came down, I heard someone knocking on the door. I thought that I was hearing stuff since I've been having trouble falling asleep ever since. I almost died last December. But I heard it again and eventually I decided to go investigate. And the voice was my dad, but it wasn't him. Greg, it's your dad. Open the door. It was the beast. I thought that it was done trying to hunt me down since December, but it's back. It was trying the same trick as it did using Riley and Fregley's voices to lure me in. But since I already knew what it was trying to do, I checked to see if the door was locked, which it was, and ran to my room. Unfortunately, my mom didn't know about what the beast even was, so the beast was able to lure her to open the door. And I luckily didn't see what happened to my mom, but I had to hear her get torn apart by that thing. Wait, you want Frank? What I don't know why I didn't help her, or at least warn her about that thing at the door not being dad, but I was paralyzed with fear and I didn't do anything. As of writing this, I still feel guilty that I didn't save my mom. Eventually I heard someone run upstairs from the basement and I could just barely make out Roderick that was talking. Holy crap, what the flip are you supposed to be? After that I heard some really loud banging noises, which I think are from a shotgun because my family keeps the guns in the basement. A minute went by of Roderick shooting the beast and the beast screaming and trying to kill Roderick. But it finally stopped and I heard someone go upstairs and approach my room. I made sure to lock my door just in case the beast came in, but I was holding out hope that it was Roderick who had killed the beast. I saw that someone was trying to enter my room, but since it was locked, they had no luck. Then it started to talk to me and it was unfortunately the beast. I've got up some orange slices for you, sweetie. I was of course not going to let it in, so it resorted to breaking down my door until it got in, and when it was successful, I got to see the monstrosity for the first time. I couldn't do anything. I was right at the door, so I couldn't run out the door. I also couldn't jump out the window since I'm not sure as to if I'm even fast enough to make it. All I could do was just hide under my blanket and hope it would go away. It slowly approached me, and soon enough, it was looking down on me. But it just stood there for a solid minute not doing anything. I thought that maybe its vision was based on sight. I thought that I just needed to stay perfectly still until it left. I was wrong, as it then picked me up by my head and slammed me into the wall. I woke up in what looked like a cave. I was disorientated and confused. I saw that I was face first in a puddle. I wasn't fully awake, so I didn't know what I was touching. But shortly after I fully woke up, and that's when I realized that the puddle was blood. I almost threw up, but luckily I didn't. Well, until I saw a gruesome pile of blood and bones. I didn't even want to describe what the rest of the cave looks like. I even saw my mom and Roderick, or at least what was left of them. I knew I had to get out of there ASAP, so I tried to look for an exit, but then I heard the loud footsteps and this horrifying voice. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, Greg. I looked behind and there it was, just standing there. It then started to slowly approach me. I couldn't do anything else, so in an admittedly stupid decision, I gave it a piece of my mind and it actually responded to me. Just why? Why are you doing this? Well, I admit, I'm forced to do this, but I really enjoy ripping everyone apart. That actually caught me off guard. This whole time the beast has been forced to kill everyone. Though it says that it enjoys doing those acts, so I don't really feel bad for it. But I had to know who was controlling it. So I asked it, and well, it didn't go well. Wait, who's been forcing you to do this? But it didn't respond to me. Instead it lunged at me and bit off my freaking hand. Flip. I was in excruciating pain. I fell onto the ground and I just broke down. Why? Why do you enjoy this? Because it's my only purpose, to kill and bring suffering to others. Please, someone, help me. You know, kid, that is actually funny because Susan can't save you. Frank can't save you. Roderick can't save you. Manny can't save you. Nobody can save you now. I was utterly helpless. There was nothing I could use to defend myself from the beast. All I could do was watch the beast slowly approach me to finish me, and I thought that this was the end. It grabbed me by the neck and started talking about how it was just saving me for dessert. But I couldn't hear very well due to the fact that I was slowly going unconscious due to me slowly losing blood. As I was starting to black out, it started to unhinge its mouth. At this point, I accepted that this was my end. Or so I thought, because I then heard a glass bottle smashing. Then the beast dropped me and started screaming in agony. I opened my eyes and saw why it was screaming. It was on fire. I'm guessing that someone must have thrown a Molotov at it. But who? I saw someone approach me, but since I was blacking out, I couldn't get a good look at them. Rowley? Ugh.